Ever wonder how some folks go from like struggling financially to just raking it in?
Yeah, that's like the ultimate dream for a lot of people, right?
Totally. So we got our hands on this presentation and it dives deep into one person's wild ride to wealth. And it's like crammed with these super interesting ideas about, well, prosperity and personal growth. Want to unpack it together.
Absolutely. I'm all in, always up for a good brain stretching session, especially when it involves, potentially cracking the code to success.
Okay, so right off the bat, the speaker is all about the power of thoughts. Like, he's convinced that our thoughts literally shape our destiny.
Wow, that's a bold statement. So is he saying that if you just think about being rich, it'll magically happen?
Haha, not exactly.
Right.
But he does tell this story about how when he was a kid, he'd look at these farmlands and imagine them all belonging to him someday. And guess what?
Okay, I'm intrigued. What happened?
He actually ended up owning a ton of land later in life.
Right.
Crazy, right?
That is pretty wild. But it makes you wonder, is it really that simple? Or is it just, a coincidence? There's got to be more to it than just thinking, right. What about hard work, taking action, and let's not forget plain old luck?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely emphasizes action too, but he really hammers home the point that our thoughts are like the foundation. He even throws out some research that says the average person has, get this, tens of thousands of thoughts every single day.
Wow, tens of thousands. That's mind-boggling. I mean, no wonder our brains feel fried sometimes.
And he's like, how many of those thoughts are actually helpful or productive?
Yeah.
It's like we're constantly bombarded with mental clutter.
That's so true. I know I'm guilty of that. My mind's always racing with to-do lists, worries, random thoughts. It's exhausting.
Right. And that's where he introduces this idea of combative thoughts, which is basically replacing negative thoughts with positive, empowering ones.
Yeah.
Kind of like retraining your brain to think differently.
Combative thoughts. I like that. So is it like those positive affirmations you see everywhere?
Kind of, but he goes a bit deeper. Like he talks about teaching his young daughter to say, I can do anything I want.
That's adorable. I mean, it's a great message for a kid, but does it really work for adults too? We've got all these complex beliefs and experiences that shape our thoughts. Sometimes a simple affirmation just feels, I don't know, a bit too simplistic.
Yeah, he acknowledges that. He's not saying just repeat some mantra blindly.
Yeah.
It's more about becoming aware of those automatic negative thoughts and actively challenging them. Like asking yourself, is this thought even true? What evidence do I have to support it?
Okay, that makes more sense. It's like being more mindful of your thoughts and choosing to focus on those that empower you rather than hold you back.
Exactly. It's like taking control of your mental game, right?
Right.
But then he throws this curveball. He's like, generosity is a key pathway to prosperity. He even tells this story about how he received this unexpected, super valuable gift from a business associate, and he sees it as part of this whole flow of generosity.
That's interesting. It kind of goes against the common belief that generosity means you're sacrificing or losing something. He's framing it more like an investment, like what you give out will come back to you in some way.
Totally. And it's not just some fluffy feel-good concept. He actually backs it up with a biblical reference, saying, give, and it will be given to you. It's not what you typically expect in a presentation about financial success,
Yeah, that's pretty unexpected. But it does add another layer to it, almost like a spiritual dimension to prosperity. He's connecting it to something bigger than just making money. I'm curious to know, though, does he give any concrete examples of how to cultivate this flow of generosity? Or is it more of a general principle?
Oh, he definitely gets into specifics later on. He talks about like small acts of kindness, supporting others, even giving away valuable stuff you own. It's about keeping that energy of giving and receiving moving.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So he's all about action, mindset, and generosity. It sounds like he's weaving together a lot of different ideas here. I'm curious to see where he goes with this.
Me too. But before we jump into that, he introduces these 3 different mental models of prosperity, which are kind of like frameworks for how we view abundance.
Oh, I'm always up for a good mental model breakdown. Let's hear it. What are these 3 models he's talking about? All right, lay it on me. What are these mental models all about?
Okay, so the first one is scarcity. And he describes it as like this feeling of not enough for me or anyone else, like a constant worry about resources and competition, always feeling like you're going to miss out.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. It's like that pie is only so big mentality, right? Like if someone else gets a slice, there's less for me. Pretty stressful way to live.
Totally. And he says that kind of thinking can actually hold you back from like being generous or taking risks. Then He contrasts that with the second model, which is abundance.
Okay, abundance.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit more chill. What's that one all about?
He says it's like enough for me and those close to me, but not necessarily enough for everyone. So like imagine a bigger pie, but you're still kind of protective of it.
Yeah, I can see that. Like you're comfortable, you're sharing with your inner circle, but maybe not so much with those outside of it. Interesting.
And he suggests that even with this abundance mindset, there can still be like competition and comparison.
Yeah.
Like even within that circle, you might still feel the need to measure up or prove yourself.
Oh, totally. I've definitely experienced that, like comparing myself to friends or colleagues, even when I logically know there's enough to go around. It's like that scarcity mindset can creep in even when you think you've moved beyond it.
Exactly. And then he brings in his favorite model, the one he's like super passionate about. It's called overflowing.
Overflowing. Okay, now we're talking. Tell me more about this one.
He says it's all about having enough for me, my loved ones, others, and even my enemies.
Whoa, even your enemies. That's next level. It's like taking abundance to a whole new dimension. It's not just about having enough. It's about having so much that you can extend generosity to everyone, regardless of whether you like them or not.
Right. It's like flipping the script on that whole scarcity mentality. And he actually believes that embracing this overflowing mindset is like the true key to unlocking prosperity.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. But how do you actually cultivate this overflowing mindset? Is it just about thinking positive thoughts? Or is there something more to it?
He talks a lot about the power of gratitude, like really appreciating what you already have, and that opens you up to receive even more.
Gratitude. That makes sense. Like if you're constantly focused on what you're lacking, you're probably not going to be very open to receiving abundance. But if you're grateful for what you have, it creates a more receptive energy, right?
Exactly. And he also talks about the power of giving, even when you don't feel like you have enough.
Whoa, giving when you feel like you're lacking? That's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Like, wouldn't that just make you feel even more depleted?
Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But he actually shares this story about a time when he was struggling financially, and he decided to give a significant amount of money to someone in need. And he says that act of generosity completely shifted something within him, and it led to like a whole bunch of new opportunities and financial success.
Wow, so he's basically saying that generosity can be a catalyst for prosperity. Like by giving, even when you feel like you don't have much, you're actually opening yourself up to receive more.
Exactly. It's like that whole you can't outgive the universe thing, But he doesn't stop there. He's also a big believer in taking action, like making quick decisions and not letting fear hold you back.
The action piece of the puzzle. So he's not just about thoughts and feelings, he's about putting those into action. Right?
Oh, yeah. He's all about taking massive action. He even compares it to like jumping out of a plane. You don't have time to overthink it. You just got to go for it.
Okay, I'm getting a sense of his personality now. Bold, decisive, action-oriented. I like it. But it also raises the question, what kind of actions is he talking about specifically?
Well, he talks about investing in yourself, like learning new skills, expanding your knowledge, surrounding yourself with successful people, and even identifying things in your home you could sell to raise funds for investing in yourself. It's like he's saying, be resourceful, be creative, and don't be afraid to shake things up.
I like that. It's not just about waiting for opportunities to come to you. It's about creating those opportunities and taking control of your own destiny.
Yeah, and he actually brings in one of his business partners who tells this amazing story about how he went from like struggling to pay his bills to becoming a successful investor, all thanks to the guidance and support he got from the speaker.
Wow, that's a powerful testament to the impact of mentorship. It shows that having someone who believes in you and pushes you to reach your potential can make a huge difference. Like having a guide on your journey to success. Totally. And then he gets into this idea of mental models, which are basically like these underlying beliefs that shape how we see the world and how we approach things.
Mental models?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about that.
He's like, look, we all have these mental models, but some of them are holding us back. And he challenges us to like identify those limiting beliefs and replace them with beliefs that support our goals.
That's so true. Sometimes we don't even realize the beliefs we're holding on to that are actually sabotaging our success. Like those deep-seated beliefs about money or about our own worthiness can really impact our actions and our results.
Absolutely. And he even suggests creating a visual representation of your ideal life, like a vision board, or even just writing it all down. He's all about making it real in your mind first, so you can start attracting it into your reality.
Okay, that's a cool technique. I've heard about vision boards before, but I never really took them seriously. Maybe it's time to give it a try. I think so too. It's all about that power of visualization, right?
Yeah.
And then he really challenges this whole idea of settling for mediocrity.
Yeah.
He's like, we all have the potential for greatness, but it's up to us to unlock it.
I love that. It's so empowering. It's like he's saying, don't limit yourself, don't play small, go after what you truly desire.
Yes. And he even talks about creating a ripple effect of prosperity by helping others achieve their goals too. Like, it's not just about our own individual success.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful concept. It's about paying it forward and recognizing that by helping others succeed, we're actually contributing to a more abundant world for everyone.
And he's even like, use social media, build a community, create a positive impact.
Social media. That's interesting. It can feel so superficial sometimes, but I guess it can also be a powerful tool for connecting with people and sharing your message.
Totally. He believes it's all about being authentic, being vulnerable, sharing your struggles and successes, and using your platform to inspire others.
I love that. It's about using social media for good, for building genuine connections, and for creating a positive ripple effect in the world.
But he also stresses the importance of protecting your energy and being mindful of what you're consuming. Unfollow those accounts that bring you down or trigger negative emotions.
Yeah, that's so important. It's like creating a healthy mental diet. You got to be intentional about what you're feeding your mind, just like you're intentional about what you're feeding your body.
And he's super into physical health and well-being too. He says our physical state can totally impact our mental and emotional state. He even shares his own fitness journey and how it's transformed his life.
That makes sense. It's all connected, right? When you feel good physically, you're more likely to feel good mentally and emotionally. It's like a virtuous cycle.
Exactly. And then he gets into this whole idea of lifelong learning, constantly expanding your knowledge and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Oh, I'm all about that. I love learning new things and challenging myself. It's like food for the soul.
Right. And he's like, don't just consume information, apply it. Take action, make things happen.
There it is again, that emphasis on action. He's definitely a doer, not just a talker.
And he also reminds us to celebrate our wins, no matter how big or small. He's like, acknowledge your accomplishments, give yourself credit for how far you've come.
Oh, that's so important. We often forget to do that, We're so focused on the next goal that we don't take the time to appreciate what we've already achieved.
And then he brings up this super deep concept, which is finding your purpose. What's that thing that really lights you up, that gives your life meaning?
Whoa, finding your purpose. That's the big question, isn't it? What am I here to do? What's my unique contribution to the world?
Yeah, and he's like, don't just think about it, write it down. He even suggests creating a purpose statement, like a clear and concise articulation of your mission and values.
Okay, a purpose statement. I like that. It's like creating a compass for your life, a guiding principle for your decisions and actions.
He believes that living a life aligned with your purpose is the ultimate key to fulfillment. But he acknowledges that it's not always easy.
Right. Finding and living your purpose can be a journey with twists and turns and unexpected detours.
And that's where he talks about the importance of surrender, letting go of control and trusting that the universe has your back.
Surrender. That's a tough one for a lot of people, including myself. It's like we want to be in control, we want to know all the answers, but sometimes the best thing we can do is let go and trust the process.
Totally. He even shares stories about times when he felt lost or uncertain, but those experiences ultimately led him to where he is today. It's like those challenges were actually blessings in disguise.
That's such a powerful reminder. It's like those difficult times are often the catalysts for our greatest growth and transformation.
And he encourages us to embrace the unknown, trust that everything happens for a reason, and know that we're being guided even when we can't see the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. It's like he's saying, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, embrace the journey, and trust that you'll end up exactly where you're meant to be.
But he doesn't just leave us with these lofty ideas. He also gives us practical tools for, self-reflection and staying on track. He's big on journaling, meditation, anything that helps you connect with your inner wisdom.
Self-reflection and mindfulness. Those are so important, but they're often the first things we let slide when life gets busy.
Totally. But he emphasizes that taking time for yourself, even just a few minutes each day, can make a huge difference in your overall well-being and your ability to achieve your goals.
I know he's right. I always feel so much more grounded and focused when I make time for meditation and journaling. It's like hitting the reset button on my mind.
Right. And he also talks about the importance of having a strong support system, like surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and your vision.
Yeah, that's crucial. We can't do it alone. We need people who inspire us, support us, and challenge us to grow.
He's a big believer in mentors, coaches, accountability partners, anyone who can help you stay on track and reach your full potential.
I'm a firm believer in that too. Having a mentor has been a game changer for me. It's like having someone who's been there and done that, who can guide you through the challenges and celebrate your victories.
And he's also a huge advocate for community, like finding your tribe of like-minded people who get you and support your dreams.
Absolutely. Community is so important for feeling connected, supported, and inspired. It's like having a cheerleading squad on your journey to success.
And he encourages us to, join groups, attend events, engage in online communities, anything that helps you find your people and connect with others who are on a similar path.
Yeah, it's all about finding those who resonate with your values and aspirations.
And he even encourages us to create our own communities if we can't find one that fits. Like, be the change you want to see in the world.
Love that. Be proactive, be a leader, and create the space you need to thrive.
But in the end, he reminds us that success is not a destination, it's a journey.
Yeah, it's about the process, the growth, the transformation, the ups and downs, and all the lessons learned along the way.
And he encourages us to, enjoy the ride, celebrate the wins, learn from the mistakes, and never give up on our dreams.
That's the perfect note to end on. Embrace the journey, celebrate the wins, learn from the losses, and keep on striving for greatness.
Phew. So, after all that, what really sticks with me is just how connected all these ideas are.
Yeah.
It's like he's built this whole philosophy around thoughts, actions, generosity.
Yeah, it's not just random tips and tricks, right? It's more like a system, a way of approaching life that integrates all these different elements.
Totally. And I got to say, that whole generosity thing, it's still kind of blowing my mind.
Right. It's so counterintuitive, but the way he explains it, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's like he's saying, if you want more abundance in your life, don't hoard what you've got, let it flow.
It's like he says, if you've got a cup of water and you want more, you don't grip it tighter, you pour some out. Create that space for more to come in.
Yeah, it's like trust the process, trust the universe to provide. And it's not just about money either, right? It's about giving your time, your energy, your skills, anything that can help someone else.
He even talks about giving away stuff you don't use anymore. Declutter your life and let those things go to people who need them. It's kind of like making room for new blessings to flow in.
I like that it's like a symbolic act of letting go of the old and embracing the new. And it ties back to that whole overflowing model of prosperity, right? There's enough for everyone, so why hold on so tightly?
Exactly. And speaking of action, I love how he emphasizes taking imperfect action, even if you don't feel 100% ready.
Oh, yeah. He's all about just doing it, even if it's messy, even if you make mistakes along the way.
He even uses this crazy analogy of building a plane while you're flying it. You got to start taking action before you have all the answers.
It's kind of scary, but also kind of exhilarating, right? Jumping into the unknown and trusting that you'll figure it out as you go.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes a lot of courage, but it's also where the real magic happens,
Absolutely. That's where the growth is. That's where the breakthroughs happen.
And amidst all that action, he's also don't forget to celebrate your wins. Even the small ones. It's give yourself credit for all the progress you're making.
Yeah, it's easy to get so focused on what's next, what we haven't achieved yet, that we forget to appreciate how far we've come.
And I think that gratitude piece is really key because it helps you stay motivated and keeps that positive energy flowing.
Totally. It's like acknowledging your wins fuels your fire and keeps you moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, he leaves us with this really powerful question. If you truly believed in the overflowing model of prosperity, how would that change your approach to your work, your relationships, your life in general?
It's a big question, right? It's challenging us to examine our deepest beliefs about abundance and how those beliefs shape our actions.
Yeah, it's like if we truly believed there was enough for everyone, enough love, enough success, enough happiness, how would that shift our mindset and our behavior?
It's definitely something to ponder, and I think this whole deep dive has given us a lot to chew on, from the power of our thoughts to the importance of generosity and taking action. It's like we really do have more control over our prosperity than we often realize.
Absolutely. It's been an inspiring journey exploring these ideas about abundance, purpose, and the power of the mind. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that true prosperity is not just about money. It's about living a life that's aligned with our values, our passions, and our desire to make a positive impact on the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.